the leftovers. We are going to tap in a little bit, dig a little deeper into last Sunday, Soulful Sunday message, which was O ye of little faith, because that message really spoke to there being a lack of faith and also being a lack of movement as a result. Seems like we've been talking about that for a little minute now. So I hope that you guys have been intentionally doing the work to explore what it is that may be keeping you paralyzed. If you're watching this video to better understand what's going on with somebody else, I hope that they are doing the work. Y'all know I live by the airport, a whole lot of planes, so hopefully you can hear me from time to time as they come through. But for me, that's always a sign that we are moving higher and higher, and that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? Higher consciousness is the goal. Embodying our higher self is the goal. So many times people say, oh, love is the highest frequency. I mean, I used to say that too, because that's what I thought, that's what I heard, that's what I read. However, as I did a little more research, come to find out, enlightenment is the highest frequency. And so that is what we are to seek to achieve. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to strive for C. It's time out for just passing, barely passing. You know what I'm saying? You want to strive for an A+, because you are an A+ type of individual. You have it within you. Why not be an A+ student in this 3D realm? Why not be one who can transcend realms and move into the multi-dimensional, multi-facetedness of this life? You know what I'm saying? This existence. So since we last met and we did the O Ye of Little Faith reading, I have been blessed to encounter a few videos on YouTube that have been very helpful with kind of speaking to the message that came forward and just the energies that we're experiencing. And one of them was by a guy by the name of Feel Good. He has a pretty poppin' YouTube channel. He seems to have been around for a while. I've gathered nuggets from him. A whole lot of damn planes going out right now. Sheesh. I have gathered nuggets from him for quite some time now, but he posted a video talking about how he had kind of dabbled on the dark side over the weekend, and how, you know, he spoke to how dangerous that is, and how as human beings who should not judge others or ourselves when that occurs. You know, say if you got a drug habit and you binge or you backpedal, backtrack or whatever with your addiction, or you are addicted to eating and you have a day or a weekend where you end up emotionally eating in a way that's not conducive to your highest good or whatever. Like, you're not to judge yourself, but you're also needing to know and be aware of when we do that, there's a process to climbing out of those low vibrational energies, and it just puts us at risk of not being able to shine our light, not being able to thrive in a high vibrational energy as we are meant to, especially as light workers. And that is a gamble. And the idea that, oh, I'm a light worker, and so, you know, I can face anything. I can go to the deep, dark depths of hell and be fine. You know what I'm saying? That's a kind of egoic standpoint to look at it from. And so he just speaks to like the dangers of that, but also the dangers of judging yourself for that. And I just found it very helpful as we've been talking about these paralyzing energies, these fears, this stuckness whether it be in our head or physically, emotionally, whatever it stems from, and how to navigate getting out of it and getting into motion, taking action. And I felt like that video really talked about protecting your energy and not taking for granted the power of dwelling in darkness, and also just being unconditionally loving toward yourself, having that Christ consciousness toward yourself. Because, you know, so often we want to hold space and love on others and give our time and resources to others, but you cannot give from an empty cup. We've got to make sure that we're okay. We got to make sure that we are full feet. We got to make sure that we are in a good space before we're able to hold space for other individuals. And so you guys check that out. I think I put it in my wisdom playlist. If not, I will as soon as we wrap up here. So check out the wisdom playlist, where I put all the different like nuggets and different videos and things like that that I find that help me along the journey. It should be a video, I don't remember the title, but it's by Feel Good. That is his name. And another one that I found was by a guy named Victor Odo. I think it's Odo. And it was really good. He does a weekly energy update. And me finding him was really random but divine, because I don't follow him, and so he was kind of a suggested video on my timeline. And he, in his update, talked about how in this past week, May 23rd through 29th, which we know time is an illusion, so that energy very well carries on thereafter. A lot of what we would face was like digging deeper to find ourselves. So like doing that shadow work and coming to find that a lot of what we've been projecting out to the world has been our shadow. Identifying that there's so much light within us, but what we've been showing to people up to this point is our shadow, and like how to go about being aware of that, changing that, and stepping into creative courage. So you guys check that out as well. I'm pretty sure I put that in the playlist as well. But it was Victor Odo's weekly update for the 23rd of May through the 29th. And I wanted to make sure to do a leftovers video. For one, I just finished up a private reading for a client, and so I said, you know what, let me holler at my people for a minute, and we're gonna dig deeper into the message of "Oh Ye of Little Faith," because I have 3 things that I am wanting to check in on. One being, why don't we believe? Where does the unbelief come from? You know, where does it stem from? What action is it that we're being led to take? For many of us, intuitively, we know what it is, and it's different for each of us. But I'm wanting to check to see collectively what is it that we're being led to do and take action on. And then also, the message spoke to some exhaustion, and I know that feeling. To the point where my ancestors have had to come to me and tell me, yo, you've been getting it in, you tired, get you some rest. And it ain't even been like a physical rest though, y'all. The rest has been like the stop worrying about how things are going to unfold and work out, and stop worrying about other people's healing, to the point that you are not investing in your own, or you're lacking in your own in any way. And so I'm having to prioritize balance. Not to say that I can't still care about what other people have going on, but just needing to prioritize my care, which we should always do. That should always be the case, because again, you can't give from an empty cup. And like with these airplanes going by, if something happened on the airplane, you got to put your mask on first, you know what I'm saying, before you put somebody else's little mask on. It's not a gas mask, I forgot what they call that thing. Is it a gas mask? whatever, the mask you breathed in if something happened on the plane. You gotta put that on first for yourself, and then you try to save the person that's sitting next to you. And so, that being the case, we're gonna look into what self-care practice we're needing to put in place individually and collectively to help with this exhaustion. And I can tell you right now, rest is essential, but not just physical rest, but mental rest. Rest your mind, meditate, close your eyes, write some stuff down so you can get that energy up off of you and up out of you. Find some way to express yourself creatively. So I got 3 decks here, one being the Priestess of Light, and I am calling on the energy of the Priestess of Light to reset this deck. I cleansed it, but I got cards in every direction. Hold on. Never heard so many planes while I'm sitting there. But yeah, the Priestess of Light Oracle is going to help us get an understanding of what's the obstacle or the interference with our faith. Like why don't we believe? Speak to why we're having a faith crisis that would keep us unstable, and paralyzed. Power over difficulty, represented by the number 32, reclaiming your power. That's what we're needing to do. That's why we are having such a faith crisis and not believing that things could change. We're not believing in the impossible because we've given away our power. Because see, if we had our power, we would understand. If we were standing in our power, if we were walking in our power, we were speaking with authority, making decisions from an authoritative, desiring place, then we would have the clarity that we need. We would know what decision we need to make. We would follow our heart. And that is where the faith crisis is coming in, because we've given away our power to other people, other things, other ideas, other beliefs, and we are needing to reclaim our power and in doing that, have power over difficulty. So at the top of the deck we have twin flames. Well, it is Gemini season. The season of the twins, honey. So for many of you, you're on a twin flame journey. Here you can see with the twin flame, we got our tiger showing up, where we're being reminded to have the eye of the tiger and focus on our reflection. When you're on a twin flame journey, the person that you are connected with, they mirror you. They are your reflection. That's why they trigger the shit out of you the way that they do. And when they do, you are to look at yourself and be like, okay, damn, what he said triggered me, what she said triggered me. Why? What is it within me that is so triggered? Where do I show up in this life in that way? When I tell you on the twin flame journey, that has helped me so much as it relates to my growth and my evolution. Being able to look at things that I observe within my twin without judgment, and then be able to identify it within me. That's why I am able to be so compassionate and understanding, because shit, knowing that I got it in me, somehow I want somebody to be compassionate and understanding with me. Also, it has taught me how to draw boundaries, how to stand firm on my boundaries. So your twin flame, that's your soul partner, your internal connection, eternal connection. It's an internal connection and an eternal connection. That's someone you've connected with throughout lifetimes, and y'all come to this lifetime to try to rectify something karmic from previous lifetimes. Something didn't go the way it should. Y'all didn't complete a mission, but something y'all were meant to do together, some lesson y'all were meant to learn together, and that didn't quite play out in another lifetime, and so you have the opportunity to do it in this lifetime. One thing I don't like about readers and intuitive practitioners, sometimes some of them speak of twin flames and in regards to it being something that you have to entertain. Because if within learning to have boundaries, love for yourself, viewing them as a mirror, you decide that you no longer want to put your energy, time, and effort towards that situation, is no longer conducive or healthy for you, and that the two of you have reached the end of the road in this lifetime, that is perfectly healthy. That is perfectly healthy. And when you do that, you make room for someone who is more in alignment with where you are headed. You make room for someone who is more in alignment with your assignment. I personally would never condone allowing somebody to physically, emotionally, energetically abuse you for the sake of, oh, that's my twin flame. Fuck that. You better be happy in this lifetime. You better be whole in this lifetime. And the true goal of the twin flame journey is so that you can integrate your masculine and feminine energy within you. Not all twin flames end up in union externally. So it behooves all of us to keep that in mind as we move forward on the journey. And at the bottom of the deck, clarity. Because that's what your twin flame journey is bringing you to. A sense of clarity about who you are, why you were created, what no longer serves you, who no longer serves you, who's not in your best interest, even if it's you. What you need to change, what's going good within you that you need to amplify, what your skills are, what your creative gifts are, what you are capable of. Clarity comes when you reclaim your power. Because with clarity comes planning and releasing illusion. Hallelujah, somebody. I tell you, this energy has been creating so much damn illusion up to this point, up to the point of the eclipses. And that was the whole point of them eclipses coming through. Because see, those eclipses shed light on where there has been illusion, where we've been lying to ourselves, where other people have been blowing smoke up our ass. Things we've been hiding in the closet. Them skeletons, they came out to dance, yo. They want to tango with us. And we're having to do the work so that we can move forward and follow the divine plan for our lives. Being able to see clear. The sun has shined on all of the darkness in our lives, and that is where a lot of the discomfort has come from. But I have been one who's always found comfort in knowing opposed to not knowing. And so let us have a attitude of gratitude and move forward in gratitude about what it is that we see clearly now that we once didn't. Especially if it came via the twin flame journey. Because y'all, this journey, this lady here is gorgeous. She got her all white on, representing purity. Because at the end of the day, when you're in a twin flame journey, you want to blame them for this, that, and the third. They want to blame you for this, that, and the third. But it's one of the purest connections you could ever have. At the heart of the matter, the intention of it is pure. So we want to make sure that we keep that in mind and not thrive in and play around in low vibrational energy, and just take what we are meant to get from the experience and move forward with clarity, having reclaimed our power. Let's see what the Sacred Self-Care Oracle is telling us to do about this exhaustion, honey. When I tell y'all, my crown chakra is thriving right now, y'all. Thriving. Because that's another thing. That twin flame journey is going to bring you closer to God. It's going to bring you closer to the God in you. It's going to bring you closer to your ancestors. It's going to bring you closer to the God in your significant other. Because it's a spiritual journey. It's not like, you know, it's not like a lot of these karmic relationships that we find ourselves in and that we entertain. It's a whole nother ball game. And you have to make a choice to show up and play. Or you lose. You lose, you got to go try to get you a win somewhere else. But you absolutely lose when you don't show up for it. Show up for yourself. Because that's what the twin flame journey is about. You show up for yourself when you show up for your twin flame. And should you decide not to invest in that relationship anymore because it is draining, it is abusive, it is not conducive to your path going forward, you're showing up for them and you're showing up for yourself, because you no longer hold them to a standard that they have shown they don't have the capacity to embody at that time, to live out at that time. But whatever the case, get that clarity. Don't stay in that confusion. So what self-care practice are we needing to incorporate to combat the exhaustion spirit? The exhaustion that comes along with this journey, because it is hella exhausting. It's even more exhausting when you don't practice gratitude and acceptance. Beauty ritual. Take care of yourself. Make sure you groomed and have fun doing it. Go get your hair did, nails did, everything did. Hair done, nails done, everything did. Make sure you got that on point. Not for nobody else. Do it for yourself. It's a ritual. Make a ritual out of polishing your nails. Put a flower in your hair. Take you a nice, beautiful aromatherapy bath. Go get your hair cut. Get you a manicure and a pedicure. Get you a cute little tattoo. Make a ritual of it. Make it a gift to the divine when you take care of and love on yourself. When you step out and you look in that mirror before you step out and you are pleased. Step out with the confidence that God gave you everything you need and more, and that you are God's own masterpiece, work of art, Mona Lisa. Top of the deck. Get you some alone time. And here you see a woman look like she's on the beach. I keep getting these beach messages coming up because we're needed to go to the water. Let Mother Yemaya nurture us. Take whatever worries, fears that you have to the water and leave it there. Bottom of the deck, drink tea. Make sure you getting your herbs in. Green tea, rose tea, but all teas have a metaphysical benefit. Find out which would help you with whatever it is that you are needing help with at this time. For instance, for exhaustion, I'm gonna recommend a peppermint tea or green tea. But choose whatever you led to intuitively. I can go in the store and pick a tea with just because it looked like it tastes good, get home and it has some metaphysical benefit that I needed. For instance, I went to the store the other day looking for some green tea. I ended up walking out with a honey vanilla chamomile tea. And here lately I've been connecting a lot with Oshun, the Orisha Oshun. And once I got home, I thought about it. Chamomile and honey are very much something that Oshun loves. And so it's what I'm needing at this time. So I hope this message found you all well. I hope that y'all are going to invest in the beauty ritual, the alone time, and the tea. Absolutely get that in. Those are not expensive things, y'all. If your money funny, you know, a bottle of nail polish, $2. A bag of herbs, $2-3. A whole pack of 24 pack of tea, $3-4. It's not expensive. That alone time, for many of us, that's free. If you can't buy you some alone time, steal it. Go sit. You got a family, go sit in the car. Be adamant about don't nobody bother me for 20 minutes. You gotta be diligent about protecting your energy. So with that being said, y'all, I hope that the leftovers have fulfilled you. Y'all, I had logged off, finished the reading and everything, and remembered that I was wanting to look into what action we're being led to take as a collective. So we've already looked into what was standing in the way of our faithfulness, and also we looked into What self-care practices are we needing to tap into as a result of being exhausted? One thing for certain, two things for sure. The twin flame journey is exhausting as hell. You got one person typically who's running, and that's exhausting. You got another person typically that's chasing, and that's exhausting. And so when that's not the case, you got two people who are in physical communication and in physical separation, but telepathically communicating with one another. And because they're an energetic mirror of one another, literally one flame split into two reflections of one another, you feel your twin flame's energy. You interact with them telepathically, and hell, that can be exhausting too, because as a result of that comes a longing for the physical connection. So navigating that thing ain't no joke, but there's been a lot of messages coming out about needing to take some action. And aside from what we need to do for self-care, what action, I'm wanting to know what action is it that we're being led to take that we don't have the faith to take. So we're going to pull from the energy oracle to see what action is it that we're being led to take that our faithlessness is keeping us from taking. I knew this card was gonna come out. You got Healer of the Ages, represented by the number 51, breaking down to a 6. Make sure to check out that 6 portal reading that I did, because this 6 energy is coming in full throttle. Healer of the Ages, you got an individual who is alchemizing here. He's got fire on both sides of him, and then he has a yellow light. His solar plexus is lit up because he confidently embodies higher consciousness. You see this light around his crown chakra is activated. You can't pull the wool over his head, over his eyes. The veil is thin. He sees through the bullshit. He steps out of the matrix, and he now operates from a higher consciousness. You know, it's that saying, when you know better, you do better. And because he operates from higher consciousness, he has the capacity to heal others. He's a healer. He has healing in his hands. Look at him, hands stretched out wide, white robe on, representing purity. And he operates from his center. He connects with the spirit realm from his crown. So the action that we're needing to take is to embody more of our higher consciousness. Show up in a world that typically shuns everything somebody of higher consciousness has to say as a conspiracy theory or voodoo or witchcraft. As show up as that individual, because you are a healer, and you are a healer of the ages. That is the action that you're needed to take, regardless of financial constraints, represented by the number 13. With financial constraints, there's a safe here. One of the doors wide open, and within that safe is a book and 2 coins. And here you have all that you need. There's no constraint. Everything you need to know is in that book. The knowledge, the wisdom passed down from ancient wisdom from our ancestors and spirit guides. Them 2 coins, that's better than nothing. Whatever's in that book is going to lead you to more. Whatever's in that book is going to help you tap into the lavish abundance of the Most High God. You don't need anything outside of you to make it in this world, but we've been led to thrive and lack consciousness. That shit is so deep down within our DNA and our heritage. And that is our call. That is our call to break those chains, to break those generational curses, and not live from a place of lack consciousness where we gotta go buy Jordans when we know the light bill do. We pulling up in apartment complexes with broken swings in the playground and bad plumbing and Benzes and Lexuses and Mercedes, the new junks. That kind of poverty consciousness, that lack consciousness. Nothing wrong with having nice things, but have your priorities in order, and don't allow those things, seeing other people with those things, to make you feel like you're broke. Because when you have higher consciousness, when you know that all of that is a gimmick, you know that you have everything you need within you as long as you have breath in your body and awareness of God's power. So continue to do your studying. Continue to survey yourself about what God looks like in your life. Continue to reaffirm yourself that you lack nothing. Even if all you got is these 2 coins. Go from a mentality of all I got is 2 coins to, Lord, I thank you for these 2 coins. I am grateful for these 2 coins. I'm about to make these 2 coins, I'm about to turn them into 1,000. Just based off this seed of gratitude that I'm planting. Because you're walking the temple path, and that is an action step that you need to take. Continue to walk the path. You got these light orbs here. They're actually lanterns lighting the way for you. There's a labyrinth here leading up to the stairs, meaning that you're going to have to go through some things that may turn you around and make you look at some situations from your past, because they were designed to teach you something. But they are leading you up these stairs, elevating you to the temple, to your queendom, to your kingdom, to kingdom consciousness, to kingdom consciousness, to Christ consciousness. Follow the light. Because when you follow the light, you'll find that there are adjacent possibilities. In this card here, you got doors every damn where. Doors on the ceiling, doors on top of doors. Because you'll open up to your many options, an abundance of options that lie ahead for you if you would just get out of your head, unstuck, stop projecting your shadows, and make a decision. Move. Decide to embrace the temple path. Decide to embrace the journey of having higher consciousness and explore your options, because so many different options will open up to you. Stop being so stuck on how you want shit to unfold. That is not God's way. And at the top of the deck, we have attachment. Stop being so stuck on how you want shit to unfold. Detach. Get rid of those things, those people, those circumstances, those arrangements, those jobs that have you attached to the matrix, that no longer serve you, that would distract or detour you from the temple path, that are not in alignment with higher consciousness. Detach, represented by the number 5. Because, you know, 5s represent chaos and conflict and personal freedom and change. And when you detach, it's going to require a whole lot of that, because it's worth it. It's your calling. It's the action that you need to take. It's your call to action to detach based on your new level of consciousness, based on higher consciousness, based on your commitment to go even higher. Because it's levels to this shit, y'all. Y'all saw them stairs to the temple path. It's levels. And you are nowhere near done. There is no done. That's the real gag. There is no done. It's an infinite journey. And at the bottom of the deck, appreciation. Once you step into an attitude of gratitude, stop sitting up in a woe as me posture, and be grateful for what you have, you'll find that you're rich. Because that's what higher consciousness will do for you. Make you appreciative of who and what you have and what you are being given, instead of crying over what you don't. There are opportunities right before your eyes that you're not taking because you're being ungrateful, because you're taking some things for granted. I was talking to a relative the other day, and he was talking about how he feel like he doesn't have anybody. And I'm like, what about your family? You got a girlfriend, you got kids, you got me, you got your dad. Be mindful of when you say what you ain't got when you really got. Don't say you ain't got no money if you got 2 coins in the cabinet and a book that can tell you how to get some money. That knowledge, that wisdom, that's wealth. That's priceless. It's a difference between no money and 2 coins. It's the difference between sleeping on somebody's couch with a roof over your head and being homeless, laying on the street. It's the difference between being bald-headed. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's the difference. It's the difference between bald-headed and having, you know, a few little edges on the side, enough to put your hair in a ponytail. It's the difference between being bald-headed and having short hair. You know what I'm saying? That's hair. It's not bald. There's no lack there. You may lack length, but you got hair. Be grateful for the hair that you got. Just an example. It's the difference between being jobless and having like a gig. You know what I'm saying? Like having a hustle. It's not jobless at all. You work for yourself. You don't work for nobody. You don't go to a brick and mortar, but you sell incense. It's your job. That's not unemployment. That's not having a means to make money. You gotta get to the core of it. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that you all are able to take this message and apply it. For those of you on the twin flame journey, understand that though it is not easy, it is leading you to a higher understanding of yourself and the God within you. And for many of us, if we're able to align with our mates, is leading us to the abundance of the Most High God. Either way, if you're doing your work, you're going to be led to the abundance of the Most High God. That being said, y'all, peace.